Welcome everyone to the June meeting of the Woodside Fire Protection District. My name is Matt Miller, and I want to call the meeting to order. And as always, the first order of business is to ask if anyone from the public has come to address an item, make a comment that is not on the agenda. If anyone's come to make a comment about an item not on the agenda, please identify yourself and we'll talk with you. Okay, I see no one, but I'll ask before each item. The first item of business is the consent agenda. And I will ask if there's any public comment on the consent agenda before I move to that point. Does not appear so. So I would entertain a motion at this point on the consent agenda.
Propose a motion to approve the consent agenda as documented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Consent agenda has been unanimously approved. This meeting is mostly about the preliminary annual budget, and that's going to be our next item. So before I start, let me ask if a member of the public wishes to make a comment about the budget item which we're about to hit, the preliminary budget for fiscal year 25-26. Anyone? No one yet. So why don't we move to our own questions for the team on the budget? I will note that I was actually very impressed with what the team has done, especially on the non-salary and benefits side. It's rare to see folks able to come together and move for a next year budget that actually has, no increase to it for almost all these projects when aggregated. It sounds like the team really worked hard to scrub things and only do what's necessary. You can tell how that was done because every single line has some kind of change to it. When you get budgets that just sort of have no change every time, you can tell less work was done. So I want to thank everyone for that. And obviously this budget is mostly driven by compensation increases of around 10%. And that's kind of hard to cancel out because it's a large portion of our budget.
Yeah.
But I'd also note that the overall budget is a 9.1% increase, and you've aligned that with the growth rate of our revenues at about 9.2%. So I find that also to be fairly, well done. And I also note that we get back to accreting cash, generating cash, having now finished off our building projects and bought our real estate for the future. I was pleased to see that we continue to show the right path, and that the future budget also allows us to keep saving up a bit of money towards future projects like developing the new site next to the station and continuing to realize we have to pay off the debt that we took out to build the station, which is $1 million a year. The only specific things I circled, which were sort of, I want to also note that I was pleased to see the workers' compensation number go down.
That as well.
Team. Well, not a giant number. I mean, it's still like $1.5 million. So it's a meaningful number, and I'm glad it's not going up anymore.
Big jump last year, as I recall.
It's been up there the last few years, but maybe it's changing. The only thing that I was sort of interested in, maybe you guys may not know offhand, but the structure improvements, I was just curious what we had sort of thought of for structure improvements this year, because the budget's 121 versus 46 next year. More out of curiosity than anything else. If there was something.
Yeah, we had a couple of.
We had a few things that we were gonna do maintenance wise up at Station 19. It's exterior paint of the whole station.
Right.
We had to do some work on carpets up there, some cabinetry for the kitchen. We wanted to allocate some funds to possibly do some work to complete the project out at Station 8, some of the dorm rooms and getting those up to snuff with what we're doing. What's that? And the zone zero as well for stations, making sure that all those things are taken care of. So that's the generalized idea of what we're looking at there.
So some thoughts earmarked for that.
That's good. I'm glad to see Station 19 getting a little love.
It means a little
I
love.
must feel a little
Yeah,
jealous
it means a little
after
love, yeah.
all the facelifts everywhere else, and everybody else is.
Since
cool.
we built it, it hasn't been.
True.
updated.
It was the new station when I came, so
Yeah.
it's not anymore. But those are my questions, and I want to compliment the team for really, doing it the right way and not just sort of adding 5%.
Yeah, I'd also like to comment on that too, and
Please.
just state that, we worked really hard working with each division. I thank everybody online and Tracy and everybody in all divisions. I mean, we went line item by line item, going through each budget, really honing in on what we actually needed and what we could cut. So, just want to say thank you to everybody for working with that. Appreciate it.
Randy, John, questions, comments?
Just one question on 8820, the general reserves, there was a $5 million increase there. But did that come from the foundation, or what was the source of that?
No, this is just this year's cash.
Sorry, Rich.
Oh, okay.
overage,
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. that's great.
And then, is there some thought of starting to increase the reserves to develop the property next door? The building reserves are down to $1 million. I know we want to start. I think we were mentioning working on the training tower, et cetera. It's fine with me if we want.
Yeah, so we're starting to earmark,
Yes.
some funds away for the training tower. I think we said.
Yeah,
50,000.
last year we put away 50,000, when we did the last year budget. And this year we did the same thing, another 50,000 put away on the reserve. And then also we did a capital building, for the new building, for the new land there, we
Yeah.
put another 50,000. I was thinking to do, additional pension contribution to reduce, to raise our fund, balance
Yes.
for the UAL.
Yes,
So last week, me and Chief Tom Sherry, we had like a kind of like a webinar with our UAL, like for the set of
Helpers.
stuff.
Mhm.
For both, and we talk about our OPEB liability UAL is almost 80% funded. So we decide to pass not to do additional contributing. So with pension UAL, we are only 70% funded.
Yeah, so
So we want to raise that part, that's why I add the additional 240,000, but we don't do like a one time, we do like a monthly contribution to
move it out.
smooth out to, average costs,
Dollar cost.
dollar cost average, so not too risky too much, when you put there all in once, they invest at that time, so
Yeah.
we decide to.
So we can dollar cost average at 20K a month or.
Yeah, 20K, yeah. So we plan to do that starting next month.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I also noticed the ERAF rebate number changes a lot for 25, 26, and I've never claimed I understood ERAF completely, but
Last, you did mention, I remember I said, I know this January, expecting the fund, I never put in there because I don't know the confirm the number, so I don't want to over budget. But this time I just put all
just put
that
on. So
in,
the 3
yeah.
million was always sort of the correct.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
So that's why there's a lobby.
No
You know.
worries.
Overage is not really, this year we already received 3.2, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Randy, any questions?
No, the questions I had you've asked and answered.
Sorry.
No worries.
I took all the good questions. I took all the obvious questions.
I guess a general question is we look at, kind of the retirement costs that we have versus the active duty costs that we have. It looks like right now, I noticed we have roughly the same number of retirees as we do active people. Have we gone through and sort of looked at aging and, how does that balance stay over time? Or, how do we think about that?
That's a good question. I mean, I think we're always gonna have that balance of, retirees and active employees, just because based on our minimum staffing, what we have as employees. I mean, we slowly kind of over the years kind of increase our personnel in whether it's prevention or admin or suppression. But yeah, I think all in all, I haven't done any stats on that to see where.
Just as we think about,
Yeah.
at what point do retirement costs start to really, really
Swamp us here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, like they have in so many other agencies.
Yeah, that's something we need to.
I guess I've always believed there's a totally correct for us to be worried about that, and we should probably analyze it more. But I've always believed that we also have a certain set of retirees who get a certain level of benefits. And we're gonna have different retirees later with less benefits.
Yeah.
So the newer retiree folks, after some date that's still not correct in my head, because I always forget what that line is, I apologize. I know it occurred. As those folks retire, the balance won't go up as much
Yeah.
in those future years, but maybe that's an easier question.
That is,
Does anyone remember the year correctly where that
Yeah.
change was made? And if we could then sort of guess how many extra years those folks start
But if you
retiring.
hire before 2012,
12.
as a classic member, right now, I guess whoever is in the retiree pool, 50, not counting these four, so 52 right now, they are for sure is classic member. So we have 3 classic 2, they hired in 2012, so around that time, I think CalPERS decided they cannot sustain all those pension, retirement contribute,
so that's.
benefit, so then they stop and then become PEPR. So anyone who was hired after 2012 are PEPR members. So their benefit, their contribution is higher, 14.4 from their payroll, but district also contribute 14, a little bit higher, 14.96, I think is on my detailed budget there. So, but compare with classic member, the classic member only contribute 12% from their paycheck.
Mhm.
And the district contribute over, one is 23%, another one, I think, it's around 23, 26. So it's a lot higher cost to the district.
But it also sounds like we hope people work 30 years before they retire. Maybe they don't all, but if everyone worked 30 years, we wouldn't get any benefit from this until 2042. So it's not gonna change the picture much in my tenure.
Yeah.
We're in the office. So it is probably a good idea to maybe try to
Yeah.
look out and just make sure we're not missing some giant thing that happens in 5 years where we ought to be trying to chip away at liability. I doubt it, but it is a large number.
Mhm.
Well, with that, if we have more questions, I guess I would entertain a motion to approve the preliminary budget if somebody wishes to make it.
I'll move that we approve the preliminary budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we unanimously approve the Woodside Fire Protection District's preliminary budget for fiscal year 25-26. Do we have fun things to sign?
No.
Okay, then we won't. Well, there goes the fun in this meeting. Thought I was gonna get to sign something. Okay, yeah, it's approved. I guess it gets signed when it's real.
Yeah.
So next month we'll come back and presumably move ahead. I'm gonna then move us to the next agenda item. And the next agenda item is going to be to authorize the chief to execute a used equipment loan agreement with San Mateo County Fire for the water tender. And before we do that, I want to ask if anyone from the public wishes to make a comment on this topic before we engage in it. People may have deep thoughts about water tenders that I'm not aware of. Myself, not so much. There does not appear to be, so I'm sorry to cut you off, chief.
Yeah, so, I actually brought this to your attention because I'm not authorized to just sign an agreement, on my own. That's something that I might work on in the future, just so something like this might not need, board approval, but it's great to bring to the board. So basically what this is doing is San Mateo County Fire has a water tender that, I think we might have mentioned this.
Yeah, we mentioned it briefly in the last
So
meeting.
basically, this is just formalizing the agreement, that could actually allow us to borrow it for the remainder of this year, extended for 2 additional years. We'd be paying $750 per year to utilize it. We take over the cost of maintenance and insurance,
Sure.
but, it's definitely gonna save us right now, because I think a new water tender is probably around 800K. And we're gonna put that off for a while. Our water tender, I think, is what, 1997?
1997 was
Seven.
44,000 miles on
Yeah, so it's been having a lot of mechanical issues. It's not very dependable. Parts are super hard to get, especially electronic parts for it. So this got presented to us as an option. We said, hey, let's try it out. It's not gonna cost us much money. It could buy us, up to 3 more years, maybe longer. We'll see. And we'll
That's
go
great.
from there. So I think it's a good move for us. So I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention to go from there.
Is there a reason, did they want it back? Is that the intention to do it as a lend instead of just an outright, it's nominal amount, but.
Yeah, and you know what, that water tender is a 2003 that they
Okay.
have, so it's kind of aged out in
Yeah.
their sense, but we just used it for training class. That was, we hosted a water tender class and our personnel loved it. They thought it was great. It benefited us. It's better than what we have now. So. We'll play it by ear, year by year. We'll see how it goes.
So then the suggestion is that we vote to authorize you to execute
Yes.
it. Yeah.
I'll move that we authorize that.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have unanimously voted to authorize the chief to execute the distributed agreement for the water tender. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, that moves us to staff reports. And I appreciate everyone's effort and the voluminous staff reports that cover 2 months. Seems like a lot of homework here. I was impressed that our training goes as far as to show us how to hold buildings up while we go fix them with the temporary T-post thing. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, that was an incident they had right here.
Inspired by actual events.
Yeah, car into the building. They've
Yeah.
done it numerous times, I think, in the last couple
Well,
of
there's
months.
been an increase in those types
Yeah.
of calls, so, yeah.
It's amazing what
Vehicles
the
in
fire
distress-
service
vehicles in distress.
actually has to respond to.
Absolutely.
But that was impressive. I was gonna also express personal appreciation for the chipper day that attended my house and my street. That all went really smooth and chipped lots of stuff. And we're making slow, steady headway. Saw that we're getting stuff done at the station with the new monopole and the new T-Mobile stuff as shown in the picture. And it sounded like things were still stable at the facility so far, and I'll take that for now. So thank you for all the time you guys spent on the reports.
Yeah, I'd like to elaborate a little bit more on that report too. The wildland drill that we just recently
Yeah.
hosted here. I don't know if you guys saw
Yeah.
anything about that. It was great. You guys did a great job. A lot of time and effort. Chief Hurd and our training cadre put that together. You know, we had Redwood City, Menlo Park, Cal Fire Crews here. We had the Blackhawks helicopter 605 from Alma down in Los Gatos area. Attend and they attended two of the events here, and seeing that thing land here was pretty impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's huge.
Yeah, it is
And I think it can hold 12 people. It's what was the gallonage? Is it 1,000?
1,000 gallons.
1,000 gallons.
They max out about 800 depending on the weight of the crew.
Right. Yeah, very impressive.
Pretty impressive to see it land though.
Yeah.
Puts off quite a wash. It was impressive.
Yeah. Anyways, great drill. It was well done.
Yeah, very well done.
Awesome.
And I also saw we actually had three fire incidents to go deal with during the
Yeah.
reports. That was,
Yeah.
I had not caught all of those myself, but I'm glad that they were so small. I didn't.
Yeah, very small incidents, all investigated by our crews. Great job.
And then that's how there's a
Wilson on the freeway.
yeah, that little brush thing on the
Yeah.
exit ramp.
Yeah.
That brush is usually cut by now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the other side is like, I'm sure you've seen totally blind as you make that merge. Every day I'm like crossing myself going through the merge.
Yeah,
Sand.
yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
it's a tough
that
one.
was a great job with the crews on that one, quick
Yeah.
knockdown and
Yep.
no injuries.
I thought it might be a controlled burn just to get rid of the brush, but maybe I'll do the other side. Well, thank you. And Chief, do you have a district update?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, district update. So firefighter recruitment, happy to announce that the district has put out 2 additional job offers to lateral firefighting candidates. Once these offers have been accepted, these 2 individuals, along with the other lateral firefighter, should start in July. We have one scheduled July 6th. The other ones we're still trying to finalize, but we hope to get them up and running the part of July. That'll help, you know, with our offset of our current vacancies and due to retirements, and also reduce our overtime expenditures and give our personnel some much needed break, because they've been working a lot of extra shifts. District labor negotiations, now that our preliminary budget is complete, we'll be working on those with our labor groups. We have a preliminary meeting today with labor local 2400 group, so we'll be kicking that off. June 1st, the district's drone program finally went into service. This is a new highly valuable tool, help enhance safety, efficiency, and effectiveness in firefighting and rescue operations. We currently have 2 certified pilots with about,
We have 12 altogether.
12
In the
altogether.
process at different stages,
yeah,
but we have two guys now that can fly. They have their FAA license.
Nice.
And it's transported around in the BC buggy.
That's great.
That's great.
and I'd like to thank Captain Anini, Chief Anini, Captain Francisco, and all the others that helped get this program off the ground. Up in the air. It's great. During the wildland drill, I actually got to fly it. And the crews were making their way up into the western, you know, streets that we have up here. We had smoke machines going, generating fake smoke. And I could fly the drone right in with Captain Francisco's teaching me how to do it and coming right over them. And then they're streaming video to the battalion chief's vehicle so they could actually see live what was going on. So very impressive. I think it's gonna be a great tool for us. We have lost hikers, you know, smoke investigations. It's gonna be a big benefit for us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We first talked about the drone
It
probably
was
10
years
years ago. It's
Yeah.
Neil Peachy,
Yeah.
Chief Peaky. We should probably name it after him because we had this hilarious exchange where
Yeah.
he put in like $150,000 for the drone in the infancy of drones. And they put it in partially as a joke to tweak me, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta get a drone. We don't get a drone." And so it became every single budget meeting, he would put the drone in, and Dan would go along with it until I flipped out. So I'm glad we finally got one.
Yeah. It didn't cost that much.
Yeah, you know, in the early days, it was, this thing was so crazy.
Yeah.
You
I
weeded
think
out
we
the
had a-
cost curve.
Well, I was just saying, nobody has these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's completely the opposite.
No, it's
Now
totally.
everybody's.
Everyone,
yeah,
and the use cases are very well.
It's like a
understood.
frontline tool now
Yeah.
for multiple
Everybody.
departments and everything.
Yeah, I figured Emil and Dan were just like spotting
Yeah.
deer with it or something. Usually my,
You know.
So chief, we have just the one drone at this point.
Yeah, one drone.
Yeah.
One
For training, yeah.
One operational with
Okay.
the FLIR on it and everything like that. We have 2 practice drones
Okay.
that only cost like $300, so when they crash them, it's a
Yeah.
little more, it's a lot more cost effective.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Christmas 2009. It's by the kids' drums, that lasted 10 minutes. Yeah, that's the meal discussion.
Yeah.
Let's see, other things I just want to send out a reminder again, mention the Woodside, Portola Valley Fire, chili cook-off, September 28th.
Mhm.
So mark your calendars for that.
It is.
I'd also like to do a recognition this time. I'd like to recognize 2 individuals on their recent accomplishments. First is Fire Captain Jonathan Francisco on his recent achievement in earning his Master's of Science degree in Emergency Management from USC. The second is Captain Jared Abbott on his recent completion of his Bachelor's of Science degree in Fire Administration from Columbia Southern University. So congratulations.
Great.
to them.
Yeah.
Time
It's a lot of hard work.
and
Yeah,
work
put in there,
for
sure, absolutely.
the families and reaching their goals. So,
Yeah, I'm glad we put the budgets we did years ago in for the education
yeah,
program.
incentives, right,
Good. I'm glad people are
That's
getting
good.
stuff.
pays off. Station 7 T-Mobile update, we already mentioned that the 50-foot monopole went up yesterday. With the construction schedule, today's meeting, they mentioned that the cow should finally be removed by the end of July. So fingers crossed that that'll be gone by then.
We're
Where's-
gonna, we're gonna move it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have room back years. No big deal.
Go without it.
We've gotten very attached to it.
Yeah,
so we're just gonna-
it's like a mascot.
Yeah.
The final hurdle with that will be the PG&E connection that is still
Mhm.
not scheduled yet because they're months and months out.
So we can have a new pole and new transponders and no power to go to it.
Exactly, so they'll be on temporary power still from our building, which we are invoicing them monthly, charging T-Mobile for.
It's gotta have some kind of party to pull down the monopole.
Yeah.
And take sledgehammers to it, so.
Yeah.
Lastly, just a state fire update I typically give, statewide fire season, we're in full effect in fire season throughout the state. You see these little fires pop up, those of you who have watch duty, you know,
Yeah.
mine's going off all the time, so. As of today, I looked, there's 2,990 fires that have burned about 92,000 plus acres, so. We're well on our way, you know, it's, fire season's here. I know they had a big fire, 17,000 acres in Nevada. What's that, near Gardnerville or just,
There's fires in Alaska still.
Alaska?
Some as a county is very active over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So all the way out through the 162, I can't remember the name of the park out there, but it stretches from 101 all the way to 5 and along the Pacheco Pass out there. So
Yeah.
they had a huge one out there, but
It's early yet.
Yep. That's all I have. Report.
Well, thank you, appreciate it. Do we have any written communications?
Yes. Thank you letter to our National Gelachi. Thank you letter from, you guys like this one from retired Battalion Chief Bob Namens. On a medical call with a family member. And I just printed up this article regarding Captain Jonathan Francisco and his achievement.
Excellent. So there are gonna be more fire sensors throughout the county, it sounds like.
Yeah, it looks like it's just weeding out. But we have, because we've been such a big pilot program here. It doesn't look like they're having the same challenges that looks like we're having here, and we don't know if it's topography, trees, what's causing some of the issues because the sensors weren't alerting with all the recent fires we've had. I mean, wind has driven a lot, but it's something they're analyzing and looking at and possibly coming out to look at the sensors and reset them and see what's causing problems.
Did they disclose whether the issue is with not triggering at the sensor level or not being able to communicate the event?
That's why they're gonna come out and see. They're gonna see if there's any information tied into the actual sensor that they'll pull data off of. And then be able to establish which is causing the issue.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, given the topography, that they're having communication issues among these things. We have a lot of experience in networking. We have some outside mesh communication companies, and it all looks happy when they're like set up and they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
And you walk away and fog comes and
Yep.
moisture affects it. I've been having all kinds of connection issues with different things. So I wonder if so, you know, we gotta be careful not to pay too much for them until they actually.
Exactly. Actually, what they're going to do with it is they're gonna reset us 2 years again.
Good.
after they figure out everything, to start our 2-year again.
Remember what I told you at the beginning,
Yep,
they have to
that's
depend
right.
on us for good references.
They
So
do.
as if we so much as look funny like this, they should be helping
Yeah.
us out, at least not to have it cost us money. And
Yeah.
if we're helping them, we want it to work too, but.
We'll stay involved with them.
Well, San
Yeah,
Diego,
yeah.
San Diego's installed them, LA, I mean, they are spreading through the state.
Concept makes a lot of sense. The thing has to actually work, and that strikes me the difference between false alarming on the barbecue and alarming properly is a thin line.
Exactly.
This is awesome. Very cool. While we have a moment, I'll ask if anybody has any requests for items on future agendas, just as an idea. I mean, is there a topic that we should be approaching either from the staff and management or from other board members? Not that I obviously have none in my head, but if you do, you know, just contact chief or contact me and we'll
Reach out.
we'll do it. We want to be strategic as possible, but we don't want to make busy work for people either. Everyone's got plenty of work. All right. Well, that may be a short, sweet and efficient one, but next month we'll have to approve the real budget. So thank you everyone for coming. I think we do not have a closed session, so I'm going to adjourn the meeting and thank everyone for their energy and time. See you all next month.